Bam! Monkey butt squared away. We're good to go. Quaff is going. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Houston with a Problem, episode number 441. Next episode is an Oldsmobile, so that should be exciting. All right. So, got a hearing scheduled for tomorrow, a hearing scheduled for the 11th, a hearing scheduled for the 23rd, a hearing scheduled for the 26th, apparently, in Bed Bath & Beyond. GME is still getting, like, bounced off the floor. Looks like Donald Trump's bond has been rejected and he may not be able to resurrect it, which might give the go-ahead for Letitia James to start seizing his properties, which should be exciting. Any other news, Monkey? The eclipse. Oh, yeah, the eclipse. You guys have a good time at the eclipse? I had clouds. I didn't get to see a darn thing. So, that's my life. Hope you guys had a good time. Look, I saw lots of great pictures. A lot of people all over Cleveland, Indiana, Texas, Arkansas, up in Canada. They all got to see it. So, way to go. That's, yeah, woo. Yeah.
Houston, we have a problem.
I may get gassed out of here. This dog has been so farty. You have never been such a farty dog. We haven't had farty dogs since Snoopy was here. What is wrong with you? Turn off the intro. Don't want to do that again. I mean, she's like squeaking over here. So, anything else to add? I don't know. You guys will remind me of things. Okay. So, we'll give Passing Cloud the first, even though I was technically first, because I had to tell everybody that the stupid thing launched the show before I had a chance to set the show time. Derek Course, I found 25 glasses for the 2017 eclipse just in time. Also, bread. Seriously, bread. Bread. Like, that's what I want. Ludwig Vladimir Dorner. I don't understand RC tweets about merger acquisition anymore. Has he tweeted about merger acquisition? Oh, you just let one go and now you're gonna run away from it? Is that what I'm getting? Dude. Sounds like a Muppet coming out of my left ear here. Oh yeah. Yeah. Is that what's happening? Are you scared of it? Is that why you're down here? You know you did it to yourself. Whatever creature you're eating in the woods right now, I have no idea. But it is definitely ruining your insides. I'm distracted now. Okay. Yeah, has he been tweeting merger acquisition stuff? I mean, I guess you can interpret things that way. I am the worst at interpreting Ryan Cohen tweets. There's always somebody out there who's much better at solving that puzzle than I am, and I defer to all of them. Chris Taylor, Houston's first today. I was. Ludwig Vladimir Dorner, I thought it's finally time now for BBYQ. I hope. Chris Taylor, I can still see. Thanks for the glasses. The eclipse was great here. Excellent. Ludwig, apparently not with those stupid removed hearings. Yeah, there's still like a lot of hearings that were hidden from the public and their filings have been put under NDAs. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that keeps being deferred. It's been, supposed to have hearings about credit bid, or stalking horse bid in October, and then November, and then December, and then January, and then February, and then March, and now maybe April 11th, tomorrow? No, Thursday? Is that the 11th? When is the 11th? Thursday. So, see where it goes. Gus for Long Term is here. Ludwig says, I guess Gus for Long Term is the best nickname you can have these days in these places. Okay, man. Thanks for the glasses. Had a clear sky in Indiana. Awesome. Excellent. Be honest. Did it blow your mind? Like, seeing the sun just kind of disappear midday is weird. It gets really chilly really quick. You get a weird wind blows for a minute or two. and then it starts coming back again. Everyone's like, whoa. So it's a really cool experience. Oh, all right. He's at the door. That's right. Oh, there we go. Turn off the Batman. He's here. He's down there. Come on. There you go. Making an appearance. The basketball cat. Yes. Okay. Dust Night, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Tell all of them. Tell your enemies, too. Bring them on by. Goes for the long term. Lol, more than I knew. Snow alert, Houston. Market crash after the orange is off the ballot or before? Thanks in advance. There's some interesting things that came out. I posted to the subreddit an article from Yahoo Finance yesterday about the M2 money levels. So M1 is basically cash people have on hand, stuff that's circulating, stuff that's like liquid in there. M2 is the second level that's a little bit less liquid, takes a little work to get to. Things like money in CDs, money market accounts, savings accounts, stuff like that. And every time it's dropped has precipitated or happened just before a market crash. And usually when it drops like 0.25%. You know, some savings disappear because people need to use their money for stuff. And that's showing that there's like a liquidity crunch. This time around, it's dropped over 4.5% since last year. The last time it dropped that much was the Great Depression. 2008, it dropped like less than 1%. 2001, less than 1%. 91, less than 1%. It is the steepest drop since 1929. Which, you know, some people are like, well, it could just be a correction because of how much cash got flooded into the market during the COVID. But at the same time, they went from $24 billion in savings to $20 billion in savings. And that's a big drop for the nation. We've had more and more news come out, even this weekend, of crazy real estate deals. The tallest building in Cleveland just sold for less than half of what it sold for in 2016. What was the other one that popped up? It's a Brooklyn Tower, the tallest building in Brooklyn, which is under construction, 95-story tower. The developer just defaulted on all their loans, and construction looks like it's likely halted. Well, I'll be honest, when you have things like that, when you have like a very prestigious tower goes belly up and construction can't finish, it's probably in the best interest of the municipality to take over the construction and finish it, because otherwise you end up with things like the ocean-wide towers in Los Angeles that have been sitting derelict for years, and they're just havens for squatters and you know, vandals and stuff. There's the financial tower in Caracas, Venezuela, that's now home to like 1,000 squatters and like armed gangs and stuff. So you don't want a blight like that on your skyline because it hurts everything. So the city of New York should look at, if they can't find someone to take it over, they should take it over and at least finish it. Even if it's going to sit empty, it's finished, and you can put a security guard at the front door. So yeah, the real estate bubble is definitely burst. The commercial real estate's toast. Because I remember a couple weeks ago, we searched for commercial buildings up for auction. My social media feed is now ads from 10X, that auction house. And so many office buildings. It is remarkable how big some of these are. We're talking buildings with 1 million square feet, like full-on office towers in major downtowns are coming up for auction on this site. And, big industrial parks, like entire industrial parks are coming up for auction, not just buildings inside of them. It's really crazy. it just blows my mind how much property is suddenly available on that side of the market. It's a factory. Shout out to anyone. Oh, you asked if it was going to be before. Sorry, Snort Alert. You asked if it was before or after he's off the ballot. It's really hard to gauge. I mean, I think what it comes down to is who or which bank doesn't make it. Right? Because we have a 6% default rate right now in commercial bonds, commercial real estate bonds, which is freakishly high. So which of those bonds is like the entire portfolio of a community or regional bank? Because there's going to be one of them. It's going to be some community bank, dumped $100 million into something, and they're not going to get paid back for it, and they'd have no money for the depositors, and they're done, right? So then maybe a next level bank steps up and acquires them, but that next level bank now is responsible for those properties, and they might not be able to do it. So, the FDIC might not be able to take that stuff on, take on those liabilities. I guess I don't know is the answer. When it hits, it's going to hit, and that'll be when it does. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen 6 months from now. I just don't know how long these banks can hold on if they're not getting paid for these bonds. Because if level 2s, the M2 money supply, is dropping this significantly, that means people are pulling their money out of banks, out of their savings accounts, out of their money markets, out of their CDs, right? And they're withdrawing. And if you don't have cash coming in on all the bonds that you purchased with that money, with the depositor's money, when they go to withdraw, you don't have any anymore. So it's like two titans meeting. So it's going to happen at some point. I just don't know exactly the moment. Soon. Okay, is it factory? Shout out to anyone who saw the eclipse without glasses. No, seriously, shout out to them because they can't read this. You have a permanent blue dot in the center of your vision. Kelly Reed, my conviction is that GME will turn into a Berkshire Hathaway of the 21st century. That is the long-term play of RCO. The stabilization of GME will allow RCO to buy stakes in complementary or not businesses, and ultimately, just reset. I lost. And ultimately, build a dynamic consumer-focused investment holding. Ryan Cohen and Larry Chen will become the Buffett and Munger of this conglomerate, and GME is worth like $11 right now. Yeah. It's like when Warren bought shares of Berkshire for $7.65. My parents missed a lot of good opportunities from investing. I ain't missing that one. Good point. Jason Blackwell. Hey, Houston. I was robbed in the shower. Soap took every cent from me. Okay. Just stick the knife in me. Ludicrous speed. GME is ridiculously low, and U.S. regulators should be ashamed of themselves. I'm surprised RC has let it go let it get to this point, but I believe he has a plan. I hope he has a plan. I'm counting on it. I'm invested in it. And if he's wrong, then, my life doesn't change in any way, shape, or form. I'm still eating ramen noodles, taking the dog for walks, but goodness gracious. However, Martinez, I might have looked at the sun. Womp womp. Don't do that. Don't do that. Keeping it breezy. Houston, watch the totality in Ohio. It was a pretty cool experience. Isn't it cool? I mean, you look at it and you're like, I don't have frames of reference for this. I saw pictures and video, and now I'm seeing this in person, and it's wigging me out. So where's the next one? 6 months? Should be in October, I believe. October 14th, 2023. That one is North, Central, and South America. You'll be able to see the partial in parts of the U.S. So Got that. This one. Oh, it's annular eclipse, not total eclipse. So the moon is a little smaller in perspective. Oh, that's 2023. Dang it, that's the wrong one. When is not that 2024 one. October 2nd, 2024. That's what I want. Yes. This happens every 6 months. This is the one that's out in the ocean, isn't it? Yeah. So you got to get south of Hawaii, apparently, for this one. This is Chrome. Turn on the Chrome. Keep turning on the Chrome. Don't stop turning it on. Turn it on some more. There we go. Come on, there we go. All right. So this one is out in the ocean. So this, you're going to want like an ocean liner. Pretty near the equator. Well, a little south of the equator. So near Tropic of Capricorn. So that's where the eclipse is greatest. Right about meow. Right about meow. So yeah, a little south of Hawaii. Take cruise, meet right there. That's where you want to be. You'll get a little bit of it down here in Tierra del Fuego. So Earth is on fire. Boom. Joseph Lee, Houston, Texas. It was too cloudy to see the eclipse. Ah, man, that's where my brother was. He went to Texas to go see it, and I haven't heard back from him. I think they were outside Austin is where they were going. But Frazier, Houston Manzada. Thanks for the glasses. Happy birthday. Well, everyone's welcome for the glasses. I got on Friday, Rick Gregorio, I got your letter Friday. I don't have any glasses left. So, and you're a little late. So you're getting some Valpak coupons for businesses you'll never be able to visit. Whisker Biscuit, I can't see what I'm typing because of that bright thing in the sky. Personal name, hey, Houston. What the actual F is up with Chipotle stock? I must have been under a rock for the last 10 years. I had no idea how much that stock had grown. And now they're voting for a 150 split. Yeah, they never did any splits. The business grew like crazy. The stock went to thousands of dollars a share. And now they're going to do like a 1-for-50 split and make the price reasonable again. So yeah. Yeah. Ryan Head watched the eclipse in Lower Michigan. It's pretty cool. Josh Pepals is here. Bex, the sky looked like it did last summer when there was tons of smoke from the wildfires. Yeah, the light does get really weird, doesn't it? You're like, what the heck is going on? Olga Natsowski. Natsowski. Anything from Ron regarding Lind? I have not heard a peep. They're now down in California for some conference. I guess that was this weekend. Some psychology conference. They're presenting a poster about their science. So I don't know what psychology has to do with anything, but neat. Yana, aka Hanzo. On a cruise in Mexican Riviera, and the eclipse was really cool. The clouds moved out of the way just in time. The ocean was nice and flat, and the sky didn't look like night though. Oh, well, did you get the full eclipse, or did you get partial eclipse down there? If I were on a cruise, I would park that boat just where you get the full eclipse. Whisker Biscuit, do anything about the Uglin House in the Cayman Islands? The Uglin House is where like 40,000 companies are based, right? Yeah. So, Uglin House is located in Georgetown, Cayman Islands, located at 121 South Church Street. The building is occupied by the law firm Maples and Calder. It is the registered office address for 40,000 entities, including many major investment funds, international joint ventures, and capital market issuers. During his first presidential campaign, U.S. President Barack Obama referred to Ugly House as the biggest tax scam in the world, raising questions over the number of companies with registered offices in the building. President Obama subsequently nominated Jack Lew to Treasury Secretary in 2013, despite objections that Mr. Lew had invested heavily in funds in Ugly House while he worked as an investment banker at Citigroup during the 2008 financial meltdown, with President Obama stating that he was not concerned about Mr. Lew's past financial transactions. In 2008, the United States Government Accountability Office, an independent body of the U.S. Congress, investigated the nature of entities registered in the Cayman Islands and at Ugly House. The investigation involved reviews of documentation as well as interviews with officials from the Internal Revenue Service, Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of the Treasury, Department of Justice, Overseas Private Investment Corporation, and the Export-Import Bank of the United States. The Government Accounting Office found that 95% of the entities registered with a registered office address at Ugly House are not wholly owned by U.S. persons. Also, the Government Accounting Office validated the reasons why the Cayman Islands has become popular jurisdiction for international finance and business, including the country's reputation as having a stable and internationally competent legal and regulatory system. In an interview with the Government Accounting Office, representatives from the U.S. Internal Revenue Service cited the Cayman Islands' reputation for regulatory sophistication and legal protection for creditors and investors as factors that might affect legal financial activity. In addition, the Government Accounting Office report explained how U.S. government trade promotion agencies use the Cayman Islands and entities registered at Ugly House. The Import-Export Bank told the Government Accounting Office that it had used the Cayman Islands to support the sale of aircraft manufactured in the United States between 2003 and the time of the Government Accounting Office investigation. The Export-Import Bank had been involved in supporting 42 aircraft financing deals in the Cayman Islands. Also, officials from Overseas Private Investment Corporation, another U.S. government agency, told the GAO that 1/3 to half of private equity funds in which it has invested have been organized in the Caymans. OPIC officials also said that foreign investors and private equity funds that they are involved with value the Cayman Islands' reputation for legal neutrality towards investors from different jurisdictions. The Cayman Islands have worked to promote governance and regulation, and have over the years collaborated with governments in the major economies to introduce tax information agreements such as FATCA, and cooperation agreements with securities regulators aimed at promoting a transparent legal regime for global business. This article, the Ugly House article, reads like it was written by the Ugly House. So, hey man, the government uses the Caymans too, so it can't be that bad. For about $3,500, you can register a company in the Cayman Islands. You can hire an attorney; they'll register a company there for you. It takes maybe 4 or 5 days for the company to go through, and then you apply for a bank. It can take a few weeks for you to get a bank account. They got to verify the information and everything, but the Cayman Islands are not allowed to reveal who owns the company. And it could be a sole proprietor. So you can just be the single owner. You can be all the board positions, whatever. You can declare however many shares of stock you want to declare, and you can own them all. And the banks are the same way. The banks can't reveal who owns what bank account. So let's say you're the guy in Oregon who just won the $1.3 billion Powerball, on Saturday. 1.3 billion. You're getting about 600 and something million is your lump sum. And let's say you do the Houston plan. You form a company and you sell the ticket to a big financial institution or private equity or whatever. And so you spend $3,500 and you form a company in the Caymans. You wait a couple of weeks for your bank account to finally get done, and then you assign ownership of that ticket to your Cayman account. So now you sell that ticket to some private equity fund. And with it is an NDA, they can't reveal who they bought the ticket from. And they're buying it from the Cayman company, so the money goes into the Cayman account, and there it sits, never to be taxed by anyone. And the private equity group's under NDA that they can't reveal who they bought the ticket from. So now you just avoided, your 28% winnings tax on your lump sum. Poof, done. You now have a successful offshore company. The IRS has no idea that it's there. And then that company can then buy your house here in the States. It's owned by a foreign holdings company. So you live in your house. It's not your house. It's some foreign company. You're renting it from them, right? The car you drive is owned by a foreign holdings company. You're just leasing it from that foreign holdings company. So now you are completely like now immune to search and seizures. Like, you know, oh, we went and we seized the cars. That's Grand Theft Auto, man. I don't own that car. That's owned by some holding company offshore. I'm just leasing it from them. You know, if you get sued, they can't claim the property. All sorts of things. So there's a lot of liability that basically is off your shoulders, and is now they have to deal with the court system in the Caymans. And okay, done. So that's a big reason why people go there, because you can throw the cash in there. You can do things like, let's say you have a company that makes t-shirts. You make t-shirts and you print goofy logos on those t-shirts. Well, the logo company, like you have a t-shirt company and you have the logo company. And the logo company is a Cayman company. And so when someone buys a t-shirt from you, you give all that money to the logo company, puts a logo on the t-shirt, and then ships it out. So now all your money is going straight to the Caymans tax-free, right? Because you had this huge expense. You had to pay for the logo to put on a t-shirt, and it cost all the money of your t-shirt costs. So now all of your money gets offshored, and you can avoid taxes with your U.S. company, because U.S. company has nothing but expenses, therefore has no taxable income. And your Cayman company has nothing but profit, but they don't tax profits in the Caymans. So there's lots of little tricks they can do with that. So I'm sure that these 42 aircraft financing deals oftentimes are someone like Boeing or Lockheed or whatever having something in the Caymans, and they're buying the planes through the Caymans, and that's it. Like there, all that went tax free. It's purely tax free. It's not because they have a robust legal system. It's because they don't have to pay taxes on any of it, and they get to keep all of it. That's why you have something like $40 trillion offshored by the wealthiest people in the world. Now, the wealthiest people in the world, if you look at like what is their reported net worths, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 13 trillion. But they've offshored 40 trillion, which means there are people who could be worth as much or more than like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, but all of that wealth is offshore in accounts that are hidden. So you can be looking at some of these billionaires, be like, oh, this is, Joe Blow, he's worth $1.5 billion. In reality, he could be worth probably 100 billion or more, but it's not, no one can find any holdings that are owned by him. But he's got a holdings company in the Caymans that owns just cajillions of shares of stock companies around the world. But because it's the Caymans, they don't do any reporting because they aren't part of like the U.S. system. It's pretty remarkable, like how much money gets hidden by these offshore groups. I mean, Apple has something like 200 billion offshore in just Ireland that's not been repatriated to the United States. So there's a lot of money out there. Or is that Ugland House one? Oh, I lost it. There we go. Okay. Scott Pollen, Eclipse is pretty baller in Boulder, Colorado. You got to see about probably 50% in Boulder or so. Ralph Fan, what's up with Finger? I haven't looked into Finger in like a month. Oops. FNGR. Had some jumps today. Went up 18% today. Almost 19%. What have we been doing the last 6 months, Finger? So it had its last local high in November. Bottomed out. Went up to $3 in February. Bottomed out again. And now it's back above $3. I don't know. Finger's doing stuff. I have no idea. I don't see any news. Interesting. No, I see nothing. Scott Pollen helped at least 15 random people see it. Well, good for you. And Drsg America says, CD's nuts. We wild. Houston, how likely do you think it is for the states to become Gilead in the next 10, 20 years? Also, I'm binging the league. So much fun. I think that there's a giant backlash right now against these conservative movements, especially due to the overturning of Roe v. Wade by Supreme Court. So, like in Florida, they passed this abortion law, and people sued and said, nope, it should be on the ballot. And the Florida Supreme Court agreed, and now it's going to be on the ballot in November. So far, every state that's put abortion on the ballot, abortion is lost. Abortion is won. And conservative Republicans lost at the ballot as well, because there's such a large turnout of women. And forcing that kind of turnout, if you're a conservative Republican in the United States, you don't do well when there's voter turnout. You do best when there's voter suppression and people don't turn out, because if you suppress most of the votes, the people who do show up are usually your buddies, and that's how it's worked for a long time. So my guess is the more abortion shows up on ballots, the more you're going to have dyed-in-the-wool conservatives lose elections at the same time. I was just reading about in Oklahoma, abortion was on the ballot, and in a state district where Trump had won by like 35 points, the Republican lost because abortion was on the ballot at the same time. And I think you're going to see stuff like that happen in places like Florida and elsewhere if it goes on the ballot. It doesn't really matter the political persuasion of women across the board. They support abortion rights, and they will vote that way 80% of the time. So it was a better issue for the Republicans to constantly fight to make abortion illegal, but never actually make it illegal. Because once you made it illegal, then people were like, "Oh, it's on," right? And now they've got something to campaign against. So I think that religiosity is dying in this country. As more people sort of get turned off by religion and in like the extreme sides of it, and more educated they become, they just sort of go, this isn't for me. So I think if people are going to try to do a Gilead type thing, I don't think there's enough of them to make it happen. I just don't think they're a big enough majority to be able to make that a thing. So they got to go for some serious oppression and overwhelming firepower in order to make that happen. And I just don't see them being able to make it successful. And the league is very hilarious. See what we gotta do with Nub. Got him. False flags. Houston, do you think RC is waiting for the economy to die to trigger MOAS so he doesn't get blamed for anything? I think RC is waiting for the pump and dump lawsuit to be done. Once that's done, they're doing their thing. Joseph Lee, Houston, and Austin are two different places. Heads up. Really? What? Jeremy 3. I caught a partial one in New York City. It was also really cloudy, so would show occasionally. That's okay. Go out to the ocean in October on a nice cruise, get a full thing. Says 54, Trump's last minute lawsuit has failed. The trial goes on in New York. So tired of seeing this asshole every day. Can we change the system to limit these games? The system normally can block spurious lawsuits or people from filing spurious lawsuits, usually in individual state courts. Like there's people who do spurious lawsuit, and the courts can actually put a ban on them. Like, no, you cannot file anymore. You filed so many spurious lawsuits, you can't file. The problem is in federal courts is that they're all different jurisdictions, not the same jurisdiction. So you can't do, it's harder for a court to do the same thing on the federal level. So he's going to keep trying to fight these things. The funny thing is that his delay tactics with the bond may result in the court telling Letitia James she can start seizing his properties. So that'll be interesting. Also, I'm also very curious to see how the criminal felony trial in New York worked. He's at 30-something felonies there in the indictment. Plus, he's got all of his co-conspirators have to turn state's witness against him due to their plea deals. So, it's going to be interesting. G-Font confirmed Houston's merch stores in the Caymans. Yes, that's where I house all of it. KCTV Houston, I stare directly at the sun during totality of the eclipse today, so why am I not the president? No Freaky Friday or nothing. Why don't ancient curses work anymore? Two-wheel freedom. I printed my eclipse glasses. Now blind. My dog is typing this for me. Send help. Cirque Invidiosa 1892. Thank you so much. Thank you for the eclipse. Houston, glasses. Houston made it so much fun for the family today. Fantastic. I'm glad you guys who got them, and were able to look at them. Not everyone was able to get them because I don't know if the envelopes fell apart or if they got jammed in machines because they're just too thick with glasses. But I'm glad that those of you who got them were able to have a good day with them. Shaney drove to find a hole in the clouds, got 4 minutes of totality with just occasional high clouds, was amazing. Got to be the space geek at the Copperas Cove Dollar Tree. I was the king of the Dollar Tree that day. No one outdollared me. Joe Wishman, Houston, have you ever checked out IVP? It's a vet company that has been acquiring vet clinics in Texas and California and Florida, large markets. Maybe they are rolling something out or getting acquired. I've read about these private equity groups buying up all of the local veterinary clinics. To me, it seems like a very, very, very terrible idea. When you consolidate stuff like that, you start to get price fixing. The veterinarians are no longer like members of your community. They're just some randos who get put in there. It's like when the pharmacies became a conglomerate and hospitals became a conglomerate and funeral mortuaries became conglomerates. Like these private equity dudes, they go in and they just find some market and like, oh, look at all these independent companies. Maybe if we buy every plumbing company in the United States, we can control all plumbing and then we can charge whatever we want. And then they just go out and they start just buying everyone up. I'm going to buy all the carpet cleaning companies. I'm going to be the only carpet cleaning company in existence. Yeah, so there's been a lot of talk about all these little veterinary clinics getting bought up by the big boys and everyone else getting pushed out. So, hi buddy, what do you want? What are you looking at? You give me like those doughy French eyes. What's going on? Huh? What's going on? Where am I? Lost the IVP thing. Derek Horst. I'm going to vote. Don't do the chairman thing, and we should invade the Caymans. Oh, don't do the Cayman thing, and we should invade the Caymans. Yes. The federal government should just be like, oh, your money's in the Caymans? Seize. And then you got to prove to us that you aren't doing tax avoidance. Why not? Turkish, where's the Minobowski? You goddamn old fart. KCB, Houston. Did you see Yellen and China testing major bank failure? What bank and why would they do that since relations are not good with China and the U.S.? Seems like they know there's a serious issue. Yeah, it's really interesting that the Treasury Department and China are like this, while everything else is all like, hey, sanctions and tariffs and saber rattling and, spies and getting rid of TikTok. And like, it's very curious. I think because China deals so much with U.S. cash and their entire economy depends upon importing U.S. cash, that China still has a big need to make sure that their banks and our banks can do business so that the cash can be exchanged for things. Yeah. Houston, no one can see the GoFundMe. Oh crap! I forgot to put the GoFundMe for Beto up. Shoot. Let me get that back up here. Where'd you go, Beto? I put you in here. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I forgot to print a thingy for it. I'm a fool. That is too far ago. Too long ago. Where? There we go. All right. GoFundMe for Beto. So he's at $590. It's a little over 10% of the way there. But here's I'll post the link in here again. Again, Bam, the big ass Mexican Beto Cantu. He broke both his legs and is out of work. And he posted some pretty gnarly pictures. So there's his legs in the halos. He had surgery on one of them, and surgery's coming for the other one. But like these ankles are just done. They're gonna need lots of hardware. That is brutal, man. The fact that you aren't just puking your guts up right now is testament to what a crunch. So yeah, he needs help. So by all means, please jump in there. Help him. You know, he's got 3 little kids. He wants to be working, but when you have both legs broken and need surgery, it's going to be a while until you're up on your feet working again. So he got his workers' comp rejected, which is awful. I'd look into possibly repealing that. But yeah, help brother out. Hit that link in the chat and throw some cash Beto's way, because, well, it could happen to any of us, and we're in a really, 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 really crappy medical system in this country. Other countries don't have this problem. Oh, you broke both your legs, you're out of work for a while? Here is a pile of money so that you don't end up on the street and your children starving. I don't understand why we don't have a system like that here, because it's just causes more problems in the end. Just compounds and snowballs from there. Burning alfalfa. I was in Fredericksburg. Fort only got a couple of seconds of cloud-free totality, but it was great. Well, excellent. MT Houston, no one can see the GoFundMe. Oh, I saw that one. Javi A went to Waco to see the totality. It was so worth it, but the drive back to Houston is a mess. Never drive back the same day. Just drive back the next day. If you leave tomorrow morning, you'll get back to Houston at the same time as if you left right now. That's what I learned in 2017. Citizen 54, Elon Musk is being sued by Brazil. His response, attacked the judge and threatens to expose information he has on him. Unrelated, but can he overdose on ketamine? I posted to the subreddit, so the transcript of his deposition in the Brody case came out. So this kid, Brody, 22-year-old college student, halfway across the United States, Elon tweets out that Brody is a member of the federal government. He's a secret agent, and he was involved in a fight between 2 Nazi groups in Portland. And so, of course, this goes out to 180 million people. This kid starts having to go into hiding because people are like, oh, I'm going to kill you. And of course, a bunch of Nazis all threaten to kill him. And he's a Jewish man. And so he's suing Elon Musk for basically ruining his life. And at the oh my God. We'll read this. It is oh my God, he's so stupid. This kid's going to get so much money out of Elon. Okay. So, Mr. Braxton. Okay, Mr. Musk, do you think you did anything wrong to Ben Brody? Mr. Spiro, did anything wrong to Ben Brody? Okay, you can ask that question. Musk, I don't know Ben Brody. Mr. Braxton, you are aware Ben Brody is somebody who sued you, right? I think you're the one suing me. Actually, Mr. Musk, I'm an attorney. Did you know that? I'm an attorney representing Mr. Brody. Yes, but many times I found the actual plaintiff is the attorney. Okay, but that's just an assumption you're making, right? Like, you don't know anything about Ben Brody? I don't. Okay, you understand Ben Brody has filed a lawsuit against you? In my opinion, you're the one filing the lawsuit. You understand there's a piece of paper on which there's a lawsuit written, and at the top of that lawsuit, it says Ben Brody, plaintiff, versus Elon Musk, defendant. Do you understand that? I understand that, but I view many cases, and probably this one too, that the real plaintiff is a lawyer seeking money like you. Okay, I'd like to know, though, are you aware that there's a piece of paper that has a lawsuit on it that says Ben Brody versus Elon Musk? That's actually what I'm wanting to know. Yes, okay, technically. Oh my God. He's so dumb. Oh, just the dumbest. Anyway, so yeah, he's probably doing something similar and stupid in Brazil, and it's going to get a nice giant lawsuit against him in Brazil, and who knows what type of business he'll be able to do there. And he's probably getting sued in Europe like crazy and facing the GPRK privacy issues in Germany, and he's so stupid. If he had been born poor middle class, we never would have heard of him. That's as simple as that. Drsg America, Sears is the best carpet cleaning company. Fredericksburg is nice. Go Eagles. Joe Wishman. I saw some of the loan agreements on SEC Edgar. It had a bunch of VWAP price agreements. Thank you for the wisdom. VWAP is stock-based. Yes. Ludicrous Beat. What do you know about cicadas? I'm in the Midwest, and we're supposed to have an onslaught of them soon. There's 13-year cicadas and 17-year cicadas, and that's once every 200 and whatever years, they both pop up at the same time, and that's this year. So you're going to get double the cicada fun, and it's going to be loud as shit everywhere you go, and get house cats because they'll eat them all for you. So fill the house with house cats, they'll eat all cicadas, and that'll be that. But yeah, they pop out of the ground once every 17 years or once every 13 years, and this year is both. So it's going to be cicada mayhem. Don sees you shade him. I was on the path to fatality today. Absolutely amazing. As it began to grow bright again, there were wavy shadows moving like ripples everywhere. Is that normal? It probably, if there's a little bit of breeze, it probably looked like that for sure. Because like tree leaves make these little tiny apertures, and as the light comes through, you get this like basically like a pinhole camera view of the eclipse everywhere. And so you're going to see what looked like, these little curvy things all over the place. It's really cool. I like if you ever get a chance again to see a total eclipse or even a partial one, go to somewhere where you can see shadows through a nice deciduous tree, and it looks really cool. Having the little apertures from the leaves overlaying each other, and you get these little pinhole cameras everywhere of the eclipse. Drsg America, cicadas are edible. Yeah, go eat them yourself. Don't leave them up to the cats. Dunstan Shadem, I thought that was 2 years ago. In Ohio, they came out every 16 or 18 years. It was a cloud of cicadas for 2 months. Some are staggered, but there's the bulk of them. There's a bulk group every 13 years and a bulk group every 17 years, and they're meeting this year. So it might be even more there, Don. A crazy amount. I'm at the end of this group. So think of more questions you have, folks, because right now we're going to do a little bit of this. Boink. Someone scratch my back on this. Oh, we have the attention of the monkey butt. We're down to stinky beef crumbs, monkey. The stinky beef is running low. And you know what? We got a few little stinky beefs here. We got one more day after this. How about this one right here? Come get this. Come get it. Right there. Yeah. You want to do a bunch for the Jaws cam? Do a bunch for the Jaws cam. Dun dun. Another one for the Jaws cam. Look at that. Right there. And last one, long and skinny. Oh no, gotta go down first. Gotta get proper Jaws. Proper Jaws. Come on. Okay. I got crumbs. There are crumbs left. That's it, dude. That's all the stinky beef you're getting today. All right. Hopefully you got some more. Oh, I forgot to turn off. I forgot to turn off the nuggie before I went to the Jaws cam. Damn it. Oh, geez. I'll pet your little nose while you're. Face. Okay, turn it off this time, ding dong. There we go. All right. Okay. Shabong. Citizen 54. Any BBYQ updates? I have yet to file my taxes. I'm not sure what route to take. I would hate to miss out on a payout. Lots of tax people I heard are like, just take it. They still gonna owe you shares in the end. From the filings, the 10K from GameStop for their Q4, it seems like they had to take the loss as well. So they're like, hey, we had to take a loss on a stock we did not sell. So that seems really like wink, 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 wink to everybody. I filed my extension, so I'm not going to worry about it. Just deal with it in September. So yeah, that's where I am. Cat, what are you doing over there? Did you get booted? So take it, don't take it. I just call your broker and make sure that you're still, the legacy shareholder of it. Yogi 2012. All MMAT shareholders should file whistleblower complaints about the board labeling the vote routine and distributing C shares after the announcement date. Yes, that's also been going on. So Metamaterials is having a vote to authorize 250 million shares that they can sell into the market, diluting you even further than the 100-to-1 they just crushed you on with the reverse split. Now, it's not a routine vote. It's a special vote. A routine vote means that legally your broker can vote for you. And that's not cool. Some holders called and talked to people at the SEC. They said, yeah, this doesn't sound legit at all. So people are filing whistleblower complaints against Metamaterial at this very moment for doing that. Basically, they issued 600 and something thousand C shares to some unknown group. It's very weird. It's weird. Whatever's going on, I don't like it. I don't trust it. I don't trust Uzi at all. Every decision they've made so far seems to be so out there and destroying the value for shareholders. I don't get it. And then they do need cash. That's for sure. They need cash. So they do have to authorize and sell stuff, but 250 million? Are they going to dump it all at once and have to do another reverse split because the share price went down to 7 cents? What? What? Just sell some of your products. Try that. Okay. Yogi 2012 just filed mine on the SEC website. There you go. John Waddell, you looking at any more GME options? Not at the moment. I know that there's a boatload of $30 options that got purchased last week for this week, but I don't see what would cause it to go up $20 in the next 4 days, unless we get crazy news I don't know about coming. I think my next big option play is going to be for Tesla earnings on the 23rd. I think I'm going to buy a Tesla put or two, because their delivery of vehicles is way down. So I might buy some Tesla puts. C. Gill, happy birthday. I have 8 GME calls expiring the 19th of April. Would really like some news that pops. Wouldn't that be great? 18th is not this Friday, but next Friday, right? Yeah. So 2 Fridays. Javier, been getting more GME, and even a $12 call expires at the end of this month. Do you think this is a good move due to the extreme shorting? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close to $12. The implied volatility is gone. Doesn't take much for it to pop it over 12, at least for part of a trading day. So I don't think it's that bad of a gamble. It's a pretty straightforward gamble. Seagull sold my put too soon, evidently. Would you have one that went further out? Yeah, they're going to try to hammer it down probably the $10, be my guess. MS, Houston. Talk about the livability timeline of Lahaina, and for the Ohio train disaster folks, I'm so sad for all of them. Well, Lahaina it's a toxic waste site. You have a whole bunch of plastics, metals, heavy metals, treated lumber that burned up there. And so everywhere is going to have to get mitigated, meaning they're going to have to scoop up all the earth, all the buildings, every piece of material, and take all that stuff, put it onto barges or send it to somewhere else on the island for toxic waste dumping. My guess is it will have to leave the island because they don't really have spots for that in Hawaii. And then they have to like make sure that soil is gone. All those metals are gone, that it's out of the groundwater, that it's going to be a while. Palestine, East Palestine, Ohio, they got dioxin and all sorts of stuff there. I don't think it is livable, personally. Like that stuff doesn't leave. You leave the community. I don't think I wouldn't live in East Palestine if I had the opportunity to. Problem is that it's industrial Ohio, and folks out there don't have the money or means to GTFO. They can't just be like, I'm going to sell my house and move somewhere else, because their house value is like in the turds, and they might not have the capital to like pack up the minivan and leave and go somewhere else. So East Palestine is a little more stuck than people in Lahaina, who at least, there's insurance and government programs that are giving them money for that disaster. Whereas East Palestine, it might be really hard to get an insurance claim being like, hey, they poisoned everything with this train explosion. We can't live here anymore. I would never live there, ever. I would just leave. And if I had the ability. If you don't have the ability, that sucks, man. It really sucks. Snur alert. Oh, Houston. Still Dick's halfway in 6 months after MOS? I will Dick's halfway in like the month of MOS if it comes down to it. Mikey, what do you think? Dick's halfway in? Yeah, I think they'll let dogs in if we tip really well. She doesn't seem to care at all. So I'm gonna check that up as a yes. PG, HW, how long until the wealth gap is so great the middle class is eliminated? At current rates, not that long. I mean, since the pandemic, the wealthy have packed on like, what, $5 trillion or something? It's ridiculous. So, yeah. And savings have gone down by 4 trillion and the wealthy have gone up by 5 trillion. It's like, that's interesting. Almost like we're giving all of our money to them. They're recording record profits and then blaming it on inflation. Like, oh, it's inflation. We have to charge this much for eggs and chicken and cars. We have no choice. Inflation. Well, we posted record profits, so we're doing a $100 billion stock buyback. And we're going to crush the union and make them get rid of their pensions. So, because we got to cut costs somewhere. It's criminal. It's what it is. Citizen 54. Oh, Julio went lurker fishing. Steven Taylor, Doug Kitch, TJ BNS, Mark Sloan, and Co-Red K. You got a couple of them in the lurkers. Good cast right there. Reeling them in. Nice. Okay. I lost. Where was I? Oh. 74, doesn't the Fed talk today? Imhotep is, could it tank the market? Donald Trump still on a downward spiral. DJT on a downward spiral. Yeah, it went down to 30 something, $36 today. DJT stock price. Nope, that's Dow Jones, not Dow Jones. There we go. Trump Media Group continues to fade. Where were they? 36.44. They're down 10%. So those of you who got your puts, way to go. You got it. I think it's going to go further. The Fed is supposed to announce this week. They're announcing the CPI, right? I want to see when does CPI come out? April 10th. So Wednesday. Wednesday is when we get the CPI release. And my guess is that we'll get a Fed talk after that. If CPI is still above 3% I think the Fed is going to have to do another quarter point raise of interest rates. And that's just going to spell doom for every freaking construction project out there, and all of these real estate projects. They're going to be absolutely toast. Gravis, I filed and wrote off my max $3,000 loss. We'll be doing the same for the next 20 years. There you go. Luger Speed, Northern Illinois, looks like we're Brood 8 this year. I have no idea what that means. Gravis Houston, rock solid. Seriously, owes me $500. Should I start charging him interest? Sure. John Woodell, I was in your neck of the woods 2 days ago. If I knew where you live, I would have stopped by and said hi. Well, I live right here. But it's cold. We had a really nice week last week. It is cold this week. Just miserable. I had put away all the heaters, and now I got to take them all out again. It's just brrr. Uber Dodge. Ryan Cohen sold Chewy. This is speculation that he sells GameStop to DK Butterfly. Oh, why not? Right? Or does a reverse merger with them or something. Killer Reed, happy birthday, HW. What's your thoughts about all these bots and people in denial stating that the government will never allow a recession or crash market to occur, and this time is different with AI and tech regulation? You cannot avoid a market collapse. You just can't. There comes a time when you can fake it and pump it and do everything you can to avoid it for as long as possible, and you can delay the inevitable, but it's not just the United States. It's a global system. You're looking at commercial real estate all over the world being worthless. You're looking at China losing 1/3 of their GDP in their real estate market alone. You've got bubbles like nobody's business in the S&P 500 and Dow Jones. The Buffett index is real. Buffett index says, the value of all the stocks in the U.S. markets should be on par with the GDP of the United States. And when the stocks become worth too much, you are way too leveraged, and it's going to come crashing back down again. And when the stock market is worth less than the GDP, that's your buying opportunity. And right now, the market is worth twice the GDP. We are at levels that Buffett has never seen before. And the Buffett index is basically saying that the market's going to have to correct 40 to 65% in order for it to get back to parity with the GDP of the United States. And you're not going to be able to avoid that. These banks are not going to be able to stay afloat if all of the depositors' money is tied up in commercial real estate bonds. Those banks are going to blink out of existence. And what's going to happen is bigger banks are going to gobble up their assets and become even bigger than they were before, which makes this entire system way more lopsided and makes it even worse in the future. So we need a couple of things to happen in this coming, recession, collapse, whatever's going to happen, that addresses fundamental issues in the entire system. One, Glass-Steagall needs to be reinstated. Banks should not be able to play with your money in the markets, period. Two, the ability for the Federal Trade Commission, and there's a great interview on Daily Show last week with the head of the Federal Trade Commission. I recommend it, with Jon Stewart. Two, the Federal Trade Commission needs broader ability to break apart monopolies and oligopolies. Right now, they get mired up in the courts, and they spend years and years and years and years and years in the courts, and it can change administrations, and the next administration's like, no, we're going to drop this whole case. They need to be able to have the authority to go, no, you're breaking up now as of next Wednesday, and just do it, and have no ability for these companies to be like, but please, we gotta sue. Just break them up. Just break them up. Just smash them with a hammer. You know, there's no reason why we broke apart Ma Bell into a dozen or so regional phone companies, and then AT&T gobbled up all those companies, plus television networks, plus satellite networks, plus, you know, cable companies, plus print media and internet companies. And now AT&T has acquired like, what, 2,000 companies since then? So AT&T is bigger now than they ever were. And these used to be 2,000 companies, which means you had 2,000 CEOs. You had, you know, 8,000 vice presidents. You had 20,000 senior managers. You had hundreds of thousands or millions of employees. And all those are now redundant. And you squeeze them into one AT&T and they're good to go. Like, that's, not only are you eliminating competition, you're eliminating, you know, innovation, and you're hurting us as a whole in an economy. And it allows them to, you know, turn us into only a service sector where we're stuck at Panera Bread or Starbucks, selling coffee to each other. And that's not how you build a large, stable middle class and a good consumer society to buy those products. And now they want to make all this AI specifically so that they can take your jobs and have AI do it and not to pay you anything. Okay, AI designer, guess what? Your job is next. I designed this AI. You do everyone's job, even mine. Oh, shit. What then? Right? Okay, you have machines doing everyone's work for them. All the money's going to the people who own the machines, and everyone else has what exactly? Oh, wait, they can't buy things anymore. Therefore, they can't go to the store where the machine sells them stuff and buy things. That means the people at the top no longer have consumers buying their stuff, which means they collapse. You are not going to be able to avoid a complete collapse of the market, because things get out of balance all the time and has to squeeze back or reverse squeeze, de-squoze, and go right back down again. Yeah, it's the doom is coming. I don't know when, but it's gonna be sooner than later, because the doom always comes, and then we start all over again. Javier, last time I played Tesla. It was a Vega play, way out of the money, long dated put. Earnings were positive, but after a month, it hit. That's probably what I'm going to do with this round, is buy probably next week, buy as many as I can deep out of the money and far away, and hope it triggers for me. Judas Miami, what's your take on all these pitcher arms blowing up? The pitch clock? Yes. I think the pitch clock is the problem. Pitchers need a few seconds to reset their arms. Every Wednesday and Saturday, I go to the play shed, the local school, and I throw the baseball against the wall, trying to get my arm a little bit in shape for when I play in the 4th of July charity game. And I noticed, like, there's a natural rhythm. I can do like 3 quick pitches in a row, and then I gotta like take a second and get my fingers, like, the blood to go back into my shoulder again. And I think, I think the pitch clock is damaging arms. Back in the day, pitchers hurt their arms all the time, but there's also pitchers who would pitch 30 complete games in a season, right? And they had long careers. And today we don't have that anymore. Granted, as a whole, they're throwing harder than they ever did back in like the 70s and 80s. But that's mostly due to improvements in mechanics and biophysics and stuff. But like these pitchers, they do 100 pitches and they're done. And then their careers get shortened, and then they blow up their ligaments in their arms, and they need Tommy John and they're out. Or they have bursitis in the shoulder or whatever. I don't think speeding up the game helped anyone, because when I watch a baseball game, I'm not like, oh, I can't wait for this thing to be over, right? Like, the vendors at the park don't like a 2-hour baseball game because the vendors at the park want you to go get hot dogs and beer and make them money, right? People watching at home are watching because they love to watch baseball. So they aren't like, oh man, I hope this is over soon so I can switch channels to something else. No, they're watching it because they want to watch baseball. They got the pitch clock, the shitty uniforms, gambling scandals. Angel Hernandez still has a job and should not be anywhere near a baseball stadium. Baseball's got some things to fix, and I don't think putting a runner on second for extra innings helps. I don't know. I guess I'm a traditionalist. I don't know. Baseball's gonna have some comeuppance coming this year, and I think, I think the fans are like, this is not bullshit. Just go back to the way it was, and we'll like it. As I say, like maybe add 5 seconds to the pitch count or something. Like, I don't know. Needs to be a little play in there. Like the hitter's got a rhythm, the pitcher's got a rhythm. I don't know. But injuring all your star players is not the way to do it. Baseball ran over. John Waddell, you're on one of the islands. I'm on Bainbridge Island is where I am. Robert Placona, what's your favorite uncommon gemstone? How common is uncommon? I like iridescent stones, so like fire opals or fire agates. Those are probably my favorites. You can only find fire agates in Mexico, Arizona, Southern California. Opals you can find in a lot of places, especially just fire opals in general, but black opals you can only find in 3 locations: Virgin Valley, Nevada, Lightning Ridge, Australia, and Wellow Valley, Ethiopia. I like alexandrites, color change alexandrites, especially ones that do like red-green color change. Those are pretty neat. There's some garnets I really like demontoid garnets with horsetail inclusions. Those are pretty neat. Those are only found in the Ural Mountains in Russia. What else? What other ones would I chalk up there? There's some really weird ones that are found like only in places like Namibia, like serendibite or jeremjavite. Those ones are neat. Blue iolite's pretty cool, except it's actually fairly common, but it changes color in polarized light versus flat light, and the Vikings would use it to find the sun when it was cloudy when they're sailing. It's known as the gemstone of the Vikings. What other ones can we add in there? Monkey butt, what's your favorite? When we go look for stones, what's your favorite stone? Bixbyte? Good one. Red emerald, Bixbyte. Only found in the Wawa Mountains in Utah. Well, there's also the tiny ones in the Blacks Mountains in New Mexico, but the only gem quality ones are in the Wawas in Utah. They're red emeralds. They're super rare. Like for every one Bixbyte that's found, 250,000 gem quality diamonds are found. Those are pretty neat. Yeah. Wilbur Dodge, being truthful with my investment in BBYQ is becoming a frustrating process as I'm learning shareholders are not going to receive anything. What do you think? I don't think you're correct. If the Knolls are going to be used, shareholders have to be made whole, and they have to get at least 50% of the company. So, yeah, I think the Knolls are worth billions upon billions upon billions, and somebody's going to want that. Now, the time scale of that, I hope, is sooner rather than later. I hope it doesn't take as long as WAMU did, which was a decade. But if they want the knolls, and someone wants those knolls, they've invested a lot of money to preserve those knolls, then they're going to have to make us whole. So I think we're going to get what we need. We won't receive cash. Who gives a shit about payouts from the estate? I don't care about payouts from the estate. I care about getting my equity back. So yeah, we're not going to be part of the waterfall. We're not included in that. We don't care about that. Who gives a shit? But what I care about is getting new equity as a result of somebody utilizing the knolls on the credit bid. That's all I care about. I'm accepting maybe a total loss, unfortunately. Wishing, hoping, or speculating is doing zero. I have no expectations at this point. I mean, if it's the case, if it goes to nothing, if it's nothing and no one ever buys the knolls and we never get our shares back, then that's life. But I don't see anyone leaving, $3 to $10 billion in knolls on the table ever. Right? Someone's going to take advantage of it. Big Mac 8000 behind in chat about the eclipse, looking out on a lake, having a full sunset during totality. Crazy. It was sunset at high speed. At one point, just scorching red to gold to yellow in 3 minutes. Well, that's cool. Are you up in Canada then to have that be your eclipse? Lord Apes, sorry for the spelling here. I'm in a hot tub. Wait. Was there a Lord Ape one from earlier that I missed? I live every day like it's Moas, always celebrating. Excellent. Houston, I'm from Scotland. I'm shocked and saddened by your mocking of my Canadian country's name. You absolutely must make fun of us. Please the official nomenclature of Canuckistan. You know how they named Canada, right? They just put a bunch of letters into a hat and they pulled them out. They went C-A-N-A-D-A. All right. Yogi 2012. Maybe let them fight like in hockey. Oh wait, I don't like hockey or baseball. Maybe I just like watching fights. Yeah. I mean, they do enough fighting in baseball. It's usually just they all come out and go, oh, and then not much swinging that happens, and then a bunch of people get suspended, and it's over from there. But poor taste in porn. To go home from work, found a package waiting for me. I'm officially a watch collector now. Yay! Excellent. I'm glad you got your package. Supporters of Porn won the raffle for our 50-cent wish on Charity Tuesday. It's looking like Charity Tuesday this month is going to be World Central Kitchen. Unless something else pops up there, we'll do an annual World Central Kitchen in honor of the 7 volunteers who died, were targeted by the Israeli Air Force. They do a lot of good work, and they don't take sides in these conflicts. They just make sure people get food and citizens are fed, and they do it all over the world in natural disasters, war zones, inner cities, you name it. So they are a fantastic group, and they don't deserve to be targeted by anybody. So we're gonna do a World Central Kitchen. When we get to our $1,000 goal, we'll raffle one name. For every $500 after that, we'll raffle another name for 50-cent wish, and maybe you can win. I do think there's watches back here, so you might have a chance to win a watch for your watch collection. Might be some like fake Rolex even. So people are like, ooh, is that an oyster? And be like, no, it looks like one though. So yeah. When is our Charity Tuesday this month? It is the 30th. Last day of the month is Charity Tuesday. So we got 3 weeks. All right. 3 weeks of Charity Tuesday. And Crayon Green doing some lurker fishing. Lord Ape, Robert Leafheight, Justin Walden, Jethro, and Jason Blackwell got gifted membership. So Jason Blackwell, you're rewarded for your terrible, terrible jokes. So excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Where was I? Moniget. I recognize Lord Ape and Julius Sup, y'all. People talking about their thumb twiddling. Thumb twiddling happens. Person Poon, that was awesome. I'm gonna win me a watch. Excellent. Monaget Houston consistently has great info, and I appreciate him being willing to break it. It's fun. Or break it down. I can break it. I can break it, or I can break it down. The world breakdancing competition, speaking of breaking, was in Seattle this weekend. My friend's husband got to go. We didn't. Just Miami. A lot of other things are about to blow up. For instance, Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse, UBS, I think, are regretting every moment that they purchased Credit Suisse in their liabilities. I think the Swiss government is regretting every moment they allowed these two banks to get as large as they did. The liabilities of Credit Suisse, we did a calculation like a year ago, and it was something like $15,000 per Swiss citizen is the liabilities that UBS took on from Credit Suisse. And they don't know what to do. Their central bank is losing cash like crazy. They're in the negative. It's a population of 9 million, and the third largest bank in the world is what they have there. They don't have, they're a rich country, but they're not that rich. So I don't know what they're going to do when UBS cannot maintain the derivatives liabilities that they took on. Who's going to take them over after that? Other European banks have their own problems. Santander is so tied up in commercial real estate, so they're out. Deutsche Bank is the largest criminal organization in the world, and they're tied up in German commercial real estate. They're out. I don't see any British banks be able to step in there. So who's going to take on UBS's liabilities if not just the entire Swiss people bailing them out, or bailing out whoever's on the opposite sides of those derivatives, because it's not going to be the Swiss getting the money. Yeah. Alexander Flanner. I went southeast of Lima, Ohio, got 4 minutes of totality. It was incredible. Excellent. Wilbur Dodge, thank you for responding to my messages. That was kind of you. You're a good man. I try to respond to everybody if I can. At least give them... Sometimes I don't have time to give a response. I'm like, I read this. There's a thumbs up. And Iggy sends me enough messages in a day. I can't respond to all of them. But I do appreciate all the articles that you forced me to read. It's harder for me to do videos longer than a minute, because sometimes you guys send me a 3-hour long video. You're like, can you break this down for me? I cannot. I have 200 other messages I got to get through, and it's only 9 a.m. So, yeah. I got 8 minutes left, 7 minutes left, and then I got to run away. Citizen 54, Elon Musk promises Tesla robotaxis in August, specifically 8.8. Interesting. Nazi hype for Tesla stock? This sounds like a desperate attempt to pander and pump up Tesla stock. Well, Reuters came out with an article that Tesla canceled their cheap car program. They're going to do a budget car that's going to be under $25,000, and the stock started to go. So Elon tweeted, because he owns the largest stock manipulation platform in the world, was like, well, we're going to be doing robotaxis, announcement coming 8.8, which seems like the announcement just came out from his tweet, but his robotaxis are going to be a complete failure because he doesn't use radar or LiDAR. He uses cameras only and is full self-driving, which is why it's completely unsafe. And even the companies that do LiDAR and radar are having issues of their own. The one advantage Tesla will have is they won't have to rely on cell networks, because they'll be able to use Starlink over others that have problems with using cell networks, especially when a concert or a sporting event gets out. The cruise app, the cruise cars, those things, excuse me, the cell networks get jammed, and all of a sudden they just die because they don't have an ability to update their information. But as far as the programming for full self-driving, it's absolute dog shit that Tesla has, and they've not improved it. They're supposed to have this stuff out in 2018. It's announcement coming. Okay, 6 years after you promised it already, which was 6 years after you initially promised it. So, he was on Twitter the other day being like, someone said, oh, robotaxis will kill public transportation. Elon's like, hell yeah, it will, brother. No, it won't. I went to Seattle to go see some friends this weekend. And I'm in downtown. I got to get up to Beacon Hill. Uber, $36. Well, sorry, $38. Lyft, $36. A regular taxi, $25. The light rail train, $2.25, and all I had to do is walk 2 blocks. Here at my house. Right now, like my car's still busted, trying to get worked on. If I want to go from my house to the ferry, Lyft is $77, and I have to wait over an hour for a Lyft to show up. Or there's the public transit BI Ride, which uses this thing. What's the name of the app, Monkey, that the BI Ride uses? It's I can't remember the name of the app that's in there. What is the name of that thing? It is come on. Oh. Pingo, that's right, Pingo. Pingo. And I put it in request. A city bus shows up for $2, takes me wherever I want to go. And it comes up in 10 minutes. So versus the $77 for a Lyft, for $2 I can use public transit, and it will pick me up from my driveway, take me to wherever I want to go. It's crazy. So no, I don't think public transit is going anywhere. I think all these tech bros want to go somewhere. How many times have we read like some tech bros in Silicon Valley get a whole bunch of money from Sandhill venture capital groups, and they spend all this cash to reinvent the bus and or a train? Like, just build the buses and trains. You can have taxis for emergencies or whatever, but like the whole world cannot run on Ubers, Lyfts, and robo-taxis. It's too expensive. It's way too expensive. It was great when a Lyft was $5, right? That same Lyft that was $5 5 years ago is now $35 or $40. And people don't have that kind of cash. Like, you go out for the evening in a Lyft, you get dropped off somewhere, you get back in the Lyft, go back home. So in one evening, you spent more than you probably spent on car insurance for your own car. That's not economical. So let's say you have to take a Lyft to 5 locations in 1 week. You just spent as much on a car payment and you would as you would on insurance in that week for those Lyfts. And now you have another 3 weeks you got to get places. I don't think it's going to destroy public transportation. I think if anything, it's going to force us to make even better public transportation, because we're going to have our streets clogged with these stupid cars. You know, the guys in San Francisco, they take an orange cone, they put it on the hood of the robo-taxis, and the robo-taxis are frozen because they see an orange cone, they can't go anywhere. So, A, you're going to have people messing with them. You got to put that into your financials. And B, you got the Luddites who don't ever want them in the first place. And C, you have the fact that the programming for them all sucks, and they don't have the reaction times of human beings, so they just go, "Arr!" and they freeze, and then they block traffic forever. So, no, I don't see it doing so well. Brendan Wells is here. Thank you. Kale DJ, just north of Dallas, wasn't too cloudy, got an amazing view. Excellent. 4ZZ9, do we still have hope? We've got nothing but. Hazel A, Houston, do you think Biden should reconsider sending Israel ammo since what's happened? I do. Yes, I do. I think Biden should basically say, Israel, we're not going to send you anything else until you have an election. Have an election and elect a new government, and we'll think about it. And that's what they should do. Get rid of Netanyahu. The dude's a criminal. He's got to go. The Israeli people want him gone. He's got like a single-digit approval rating right now, and he won't. And right now his excuse is we can't have an election because we're in the middle of a war. So you want to change horses in the middle of a race. So that's his incentive to never end the war. So get rid of him. Just the U.S. government right now can say, all right, well, no more stuff to Israel until you guys do an election, because you do not have mandate over the country anymore. And Netanyahu, you suck ass. And that's what I think they should do. Zuma got with the nub. It's funny because any bailout doesn't solve the underlying problem. It just spirals all over again. Ding, ding. Exactly. It just dumps a bunch more cash in there. And, yeah. Juice Mammy, UConn or Purdue? I want Purdue, but I chose UConn. In, I think, 2 of my 4 brackets I filled out. So, yeah. So, there you go. Turkish, Houston, too much thumb twiddling. 101 nods. Chafed his knee behind Wendy's, waiting for tendies. Houston, did you buy a Powerball ticket when you were in Oregon? No, I got my Powerball ticket here on the island. I didn't win. It's a bummer. If I did win, see me in the Caymans. So, oh well. C'est la vie. It's 4:30. I gotta get going. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. My guess is probably be a night show on Wednesday again. Because Wednesday is like my day off where I get to go like do things with my life. So yeah, I'll see you guys Wednesday. You have a good time. Monkey butt. Thank you, everybody. Get your leg blade right here. Leg blade. Fat Cat says goodbye. He's on the floor over to my side. And you guys have a great night, great day. And I'm glad you got to enjoy the clips. I'm glad so many of you end up getting your glasses and using them. I had clouds, thick, giant, rainy, gross clouds all day, so I didn't get to see squat. But such is life. Anyway, you folks have a great day. We'll do the butterfly again. Butterfly again? Let's do butterfly again.
Houston, we have a problem.